who try to take advantage of it. And I think that we should all condemn anything like that.
Well, the president, while speaking on Operation Recover or Loot, he reiterated that investigations are underway to have a watertight case, which will be filed by the Attorney General in the coming days.
Investigations now, with regards to oral. Send out MPP address almost the Shishabi by IMRA say abande wudi efa case bi ho say ebia wafesika na bibia o akwenya obetimi aka say yo ene aban case na mode kwedu amode bomeno me sande sika na say agudie bia na say bibia mode bomi kwedu no me sande aba se ne be ya momfa menkoto how do they call imprisonment? Efiase, momfa menkoto efiase. Enti ayemra edaho. Enti obi ayabo no kwedu bia ewo tumi se obeka se you ene yentwa so na memfa se imra na yenjai sa no. Enti eno enye aban ene ebeka eye nipa yede na kugina court. And so say oka say oh munjai asem no mu na memfa say imra na say agudie bia me fa ye me famra na say japade bia me fa ye me famra na say bibi aban wa kwenya say ebeka say de bi enje na ye beto aso any case no enti ejina case no ene ni anipa ne ye enti still aban wo to me say even though wako emrana siaka say me pese me san ede bibi bema aban na aban eja case no mu aban betimi aka say de bi yempe yenje enti eno a case by case say o sheda ede adwenbone ewia yesika a echese eso a yenyina echese I don't know how to explain. I just say, I bought a buying and I say, or mine car. You would to me say, because I am pet near or day bano. Na ya do back to a fiase. But ni baby raise no say, now what then go to a fiase, 1 hour betrayed the amano, 1 hour beshendo, or yare out the Nebeco hospital. And he say, we are Sika na okase or Sandy with Sika Bemawa. And the home for so say ye beji sika chen say ye di nipa no beko efiase nti ye no de Attorney General ene behwe no akan nya ehia.
Well, President John Dramani Mahama speaking there, and the latter part of his address spoke about the concerns about plea bargaining there. There's also some other stories this morning, and Transport Minister Joseph Nikwe is fighting off claims that excavators are being smuggled out of the Tema port without appropriate notice. It follows video circulating on social and traditional media alleging that the over 1,200 excavators which have been seized at the port since the start of the year are being moved in the dead of the night, possibly into Galamsey areas. Reacting to the development, the minister said the excavators are being moved out of the port to decongest the port for business and not being handed to possible illegal miners.
We have so many excavators as at now. Specific numbers, we will do another press release to bring the specific numbers. But I have said this severally, that the port is to do business and it needs space to do business. Keeping the excavators in the port was not helpful to us. So all we did is to move all of them from the port to the military installations. So if you watch on daily basis, they keep updating me with the numbers that are being moved from the Tema port to either Marshall camp, either 37 or Bema camp, or the 49 engineer regiment or the Teshi camp. If you go to all those military installations, you will see a number of the excavators. But I would have to, they have to update me since yesterday and today, the numbers they are taken out of the port. Mind you that our port services are supposed to run, or we are now running our port services 24 hours. So at all times, if you go to the Tema port today, work is going on. So the excavators, some are being evacuated in the night, others are being evacuated during the daytime. The good news is that all of them are in the military installations we are talking about. So if somebody has seen excavators being moved from the Tema port, it is just that we want to decongest the port, and we have space in the military camps. That's where we have arranged with the military to give us space to move those excavators there. Now, what happens is that if you are a genuine contractor or a mining company, and you come through the right way with your earth-moving equipment and it is to be released to you, DVLA registers it, and then we put a tracker on them. So DVLA is in charge of all the registration of all the earth-moving equipment that has been imported into the country.
Now, the board of the National Service Authority has taken a strong step to eliminate ghost names. It has established a transition and implementation steering committee to oversee the development of a new metric cap for national service deployment.
The creation of the TISC follows the expiration of the current digital platform in August 2025, which has been widely criticized for its weak verification and monitoring processes. A recent audit confirmed these issues, calling the system unsatisfactory and vulnerable to abuse. The audit revealed that approximately 15,178,000 cedis was paid to service personnel aged under 1 year across 26 transactions. Additionally, about 890 million cedis was paid to personnel aged under 10 years across 1,570 transactions. These and other findings indicate that the system is unfit and highly vulnerable to fraudulent schemes. In June this year, the Office of the President directed the Minister of Youth Development and Empowerment and the management of the authority to suspend the old system and oversee the rollout of a new, robust and comprehensive system. The TISC, established under this directive, has full authority to manage a smooth transition to the new digital system. Its responsibilities include guiding the migration from the old system, overseeing the design and deployment of a state-of-the-art ICT platform, and supervising its integration into key functions such as enrollment, postings, payroll, allowances, and overall scheme administration. NSA Board Chairman Emmanuel Okaiminta said, "The committee's goal is to deliver a robust and future-ready platform that not only guarantees real-time verification of service personnel postings, but also protects public funds by eliminating ghost names."
And now, an Accra High Court has set October 17 to rule on an application to halt the criminal trial of former Signals Bureau Director Kwabena Edubuahin and 3 others. His lawyers, led by Samuel Atachia, moved the application to stay proceedings pending determination of appeal of the High Court's decision. Lord Edwasari has more here.
The court, presided over by Justice Eugene Nyodunyante, earlier dismissed an application by Edubuahin's lawyers for further disclosures of documents, citing irrelevance and non-possession of the requested documents by the prosecution. Samuel Atachia then proceeded to appeal the High Court's decision, alleging that the trial judge blocked access to relevant documents which would be key to the evidence. During a virtual hearing on Wednesday, September 10, Samuel Atachia argued that failure of the prosecution to provide disclosures was damaging his clients and, by extension, their case. But Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Remsai, leading the prosecution, opposed the motion to hold the trial, arguing that the accused lawyer had presented no exceptional circumstances for the case to be suspended pending the decision on the appeal. He urged the court to dismiss the application and pleaded for the case to be expedited, adding that it be heard on a daily basis. But the presiding judge averred that there were several cases already on the course list at the vacation court, so would resort to thrice a week. The Deputy Attorney General further called out the lawyers of the former Signals Bureau Director over what he described as pushing narratives in the media to put pressure on the case. Samuel Atachia also criticized the AG for failing to provide documents which would help exonerate his clients as part of disclosures. Reacting to the development, Justice Nyante asserted that no one can pressure him and force him to carry out any actions regarding the case, noting that the law will take its course. The presiding judge then adjourned proceedings to October 17 to rule on the application to stay proceedings and decide on the next course of action on the case. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Away from that, security has been heightened in the Bole and Solatuna Kalba areas following a review of the curfew imposed by the Ministry of the Interior. The Special Operations Team has intensified its night patrols to ensure strict compliance.
Imposed on Bole and its adjoining communities after a communal conflict claimed more than 18 lives, restricting residents to specific movement hours. The situation, coupled with the deployment of the Special Operations Team from Accra, has largely restored peace to the affected communities. This prompted the Interior Ministry to revise the initial curfew hours from 6 to 6 to 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. The IGP Special Operations Team has since stepped up security in the curfew-bound areas to ensure compliance, prevent crime, and forestall any resurgence of violence.
Nonetheless, if you look at the restrictions, it still maintains that there's total ban on carrying of all weapons and ammunition and any offensive weapon by any individual in this jurisdiction. So that ban is still enforced. There's still a ban on people riding motorbikes in 2 or more. And for that matter, it places a high level of responsibility on us to still make sure that in our patrols throughout this jurisdiction, we ensure we have stop and check, in order for us to make sure that we stop and check or stop and search at any point in time to be able to identify people who will be carrying any offensive weapons.
Rigorous night patrols have been boosted with the deployment of 90 personnel who identified and monitored crime hotspots flagged by intelligence.
Hey, who said curfew hours? And at this time, even when I was about to say, more from I don't know where, sir. Mistake
The operations also extended to jurisdictional boundaries to block potential criminal infiltration from surrounding areas.
Whatever you see, you have to let us know. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
This week, we are using this week to assess the situation at hand. Like what happened yesterday, we realized there are a whole lot of people in town. But your posture alone made them go back to their room. But I would like to commend you for the good work you guys have been doing.
Despite concerns over the adjusted curfew hours, the situation has so far remained calm and serene. The IGP Special Operations Team says it remains committed to de-escalation and community engagement while working to sustain lasting peace within the Bole enclave.
That's how we draw the curtains on the morning's news. My name is Noble Crosby, but there's always more news on our website, 3news.com. News continues after this. Have a great morning.
Before was also from Links.
Yes.
That was Assem.
Yes.
You know, there was a period of I don't know what I should say. The
Links reign.
dominance. Yeah, the dominance. Yeah.
Links Entertainment still dominates the entertainment space, the music scene, with their very diverse artists, very young, talented, and their performances, their music videos, their PR. The whole shebang. Links does a really good job.
Yeah. I think Richie's amazing. He's one of the pillars in the Ghana music industry, and for him to have lasted this long is testament to that fact. And great tunes from the past, giving us a sense of the songs we used to jam to.
You know what they say? When you perform in a space, before you go into management, you thrive because you understand the intricacies of the job.
It can get complicated in other professions. I mean, we've seen football, some of the greatest
football is a game of chance.
Well, some disagree with it.
Football is a game of chance. Also, when you are coaching, you know, it depends on the quality of players you get. It depends on a lot of things beyond your expertise and your skill. So you will understand what you're doing. You will be able to direct the team. But if you don't have players who will cooperate with you, well. And then we've also been told that we should not only think about the coaches and the footballers, but the technical team, who the coaches are part of. But anyway, we're not talking about football this morning. Oh, good morning. Good morning. We haven't said good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's a Blue Thursday.
Yeah, it's a Blue Thursday. It's a Blue Thursday. You know, I always love it when you call me and tell me what color you're wearing so that we can match. Roland doesn't do that, but you do. So I appreciate that. Good morning. You're welcome to the show. It's the 11th day of September. It's the morning after that very first media engagement by the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and the media. This is the first in this administration, where he started by highlighting some of the things that he believed deserved to be spoken about, and then he gave the media the opportunity to ask him questions. The entire engagement was about 1 hour, 35 minutes. Thereabouts. It was very interactive. A lot of questions were asked about important issues across sector, and we'll be looking at some of them this morning on the show. Bole.
Yes, I mean, I thought it was very, very interesting and very important. I think what impressed me the most then is what many have associated with the president is his. You see clearly as an individual who gets a fair idea of all what is taking place in the various sectors of the national life. And I'll give one example. There was a question that was asked about some nationals who had come into the country. Yeah. It's a story that when you search online, you're not going to find a story anywhere, basically. It's not been reported. An agreement between Ghana and USA to accept some individuals who had been deported, Africans. They are not Ghanaians. Yeah. Just similar sort of to the Gitmo thing, the difference being that they are West Africans. So you can't find that story anywhere. I mean, he was asked, and the gentleman from a foreign media asked it, and I was confused. I was wondering what the story was about. And the president explained that, well, there were actually 13 Nigerians, 1 Gambian, and we decided that, well, because they are West Africans, they can come into Ghana anyways without a visa. We let them come in, and we sent them back to Nigeria. I think that impressed me the most. There are a few sticky points here and there. The issue of Galamsey, very bit of a problem. People believe that government is not doing any different from the previous administration. Yeah. So that has also come up strongly.
Particularly because of the position of this government in 2024. Calling for a state of emergency, constantly exclaiming how the Galamsey is deteriorating our water bodies and forests and so on. Yeah. And so the expectation was that when this government comes into power, we would see a lot of things moving. Not to say the government is not doing anything. We've seen some steps being taken towards helping curb the menace with the deployment of various security agencies into the various sites and so on. But specifically the state of emergency, which was the song that we all sang and the NDC sang leading up to the elections.
It appears it's not something that is under consideration.
And the president attempted to explain why.
He basically said he doesn't think we've used all our powers that we have to use. But the question that the environmentalists are saying is that it's the same powers we've been using since the last couple of years, and we've still not achieved that much results. And all what everyone had asked for was drastic. There was a question that also connected that to the operations of the gold board currently about the fact that it does appear that we are buying gold from illegal and legal miners all at the same time. And so
I thought
more or
that was
less
a
the
really
trade is
good
being
question.
boosted. Because
How can you tell? His question was, how
Yeah.
can you tell
Yeah.
the difference between the gold which is mined legally and the gold that isn't mined legally? I wondered about that too.
Yes,
Because,
and I mean, the response of the president is basically to suggest that, well, in the past anyways, those goods were being sold and sent out of the country. The only difference now is that we have an avenue to have one entity do the purchase entirely so that we know the volumes that are leaving the country, we make the appropriate taxes from it. And so it still remains that there's still more, basically a viable one-stop market for that kind of gold trade still. And it's another aspect of the conversation. I thought the CD discussion was also very important as well.
and that was a question from our colleague here.
colleague Kemini Amano. Yes, very important question about the role of the BOG. They were pumping dollars into the economy and the impact it had. People started importing so much, they've now taken their hands off it. And so those are all aspects of the conversation that I think you'll be delving into. I'm sure that would be the focus of the discussion on the big issue a bit later.
During our big issues discussion, when the ladies come in today, we would look at the engagement in its entirety. We'll look at the things that stood out and the responses that presidents gave and whether or not they're satisfactory to you, to all of us, the people of Ghana. That's what we're going to be discussing during the big issues segment. And also, yesterday I had an interaction with the Sector Minister for Tourism, Culture and the Creative Arts, Honorable Abla Jifa Gomashi, Mama Jamedo, on the creative arts sector. So if you're keen on the sector, interested in knowing what the vision, the plans for the sector is during this administration, you want to stay with us as we have that conversation. Of course, we also have sports coming up on the show today. But we'll start off the show with our This Morning segment, and would like to know if you watched that media engagement last night and what stood out for you. Were you satisfied? Were you impressed with the responses that the president gave to the questions? Were you not? Was there something you were expecting him to talk about, or a question you were expecting us to ask that we didn't ask? Let us know. It's time for This Morning. You're welcome back. You're watching TV3 New Day. It's now time for This Morning. If you watched the president's media encounter yesterday, he spoke about various things. He spoke about Galamsey. He spoke about the Ghana city, the state of the economy, our international relations, especially with the USA, amongst other things. What stood out for you? Call us and let us know. Also, you can cash out this morning if you haven't done so already. Pick up your phone and dial *439#. I've got 16,000 Ghana cedis. I'm giving 2,000 cedis to 8 of you. So if you dial *439#, you select option 2 for TV3. I dial *439# and select option 2 for TV3. So I ran into somebody last weekend who said that I say *439#.
Okay.
I don't say *439#. This is where you say, oh, now you don't say ash.
Oh, okay.
This because I'm
no. I need a bit of a bit more sample to the H thing.
The expectation is that I'll say ash.
Oh.
Excuse me, it's *439#. I say hash, right?
No, you're saying it too deliberately.
Yeah, because I need to make the point that I don't say *439#. I say *439#. Anyway. So dial and win this morning. Our first caller has just joined us on the phone lines.
Hello, it's Bishop. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. My name is Isa Bole, calling from Bole.
Okay, go ahead.
I think I want to discuss about Meet the Press.
Okay.
I think kudos to one female journalist has asked Excellency President Mahama about the Bole Bamboy War Road. I think I want to applaud that lady this morning. There is a saying that the early bird catches the early worm. It has been long overdue. We have been paying taxes. We have natural resources. We have gold in the north. We have shine in the north. We have cashew in the north. We have a lot, and yet we are not seeing anything. That road is a terrible road. That road is a crime scene. My brother, when you come to Bole, there is not town road in Bole. When you go to Chacha, there is no town road. When you go to the Kurupe, there is no town road. It has been long, good 8 years for MPP administration. We haven't seen anything. Today, our father has come. We are getting to a year. A single contractor we haven't seen in town. We are begging him. We are pleading him. We are also tired. And the party called NDC, to the people of Bole and Bole, they don't have any political party than NDC. Our member of parliament since 92, NPP has never gotten that opportunity to be in parliament. So why shows that the people don't love that party? Today that party has come again. They should try. Our roads are terrible. Our roads are terrible. But Bole and Bole Road is a crime scene. At least, we are expecting to see contractors. Nothing on that road. Every day they will say they will do it. Every budget they will do it. But I said the early bird catches the early worm. They should try, our leaders. They shouldn't fail us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. You can also call into the show and share your views on these matters that we are discussing. We are looking back at the president's engagement with the press. He basically took the opportunity to account for his time in office. He talked about issues relative to press freedom as well. The Ghana Journalists Association president asked him about the fact that quite recently there appears to be an increase in the assaults of journalists, and the president did admit to that point and said that, well, as a member of the GJ himself, he's totally against attacks on pressmen. He said that he thinks it's important for members, particularly of the security agencies, to be trained basically to understand the role of journalists in the work that they do as a country. The reference he makes, he says that when you go to a place to provide protection, the journalist has also come to do his work of reporting on what is happening there. I thought that was also another very important point that he made.
A very important point across, because it appears it's sometimes lost on members of the security agencies, as we saw in some of the by-elections that just took place. Attacks on journalists who were just merely doing their work.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they create the impression that you woke up from your home.
Like you were a nuisance.
You don't have anything to do, you decided to just come around.
And I really appreciate how the president constantly reiterated his position as a member of the media fraternity for life. And so he's part of us, and he acknowledges the work that we do.
I think we have another caller on the line. Collins, good morning.
Good morning, Na and Akabri. How are you doing this morning?
We are doing well.
Fantastic. Let me take this opportunity quickly to greet my municipality secretary, Ashoti Agbu, for Ganof Municipal. Yesterday, Ghanaian journalists do my day. All the questions that I need, they answered the president, and indeed, the president to let the good people of this country know that, yes, my particular point is the order. And the president do my day yesterday that, yes, indeed, the order is on course. About 200 cases, as we all know, that is on course. You see, let me hello?
Yes, I'm listening, Collins.
Yes. Let me approach all the journalists, especially the Ghanaian journalists. They do what they need for, because they answered all the questions that the good people of this country want and need. And indeed, the answers will come clearly. So I will approach all the comments that they do yesterday. So I won't say more, because the president answered the order, and we are still waiting. Thank you.
Okay. Some messages that have come on the social media handles, on the Facebook stream especially. This one here from Mensa Cecil. You are saying that the president should be given 10 more years to set Ghana on the right path for a better and self-sufficient Ghana. He said this is his last term. He'll be done at the end of 2028. So no, you can't do that. Say that. There another one here from money. You say that I wanted to inform the president, even if they bring more, they must do community service for 5 years. So I'm not sure what exactly you're commenting on, but a final one here from Philip Abuchi. You say that you listened to the President Mohammed's speech and it was very fantastic. There's one lady from TV3 who has a question on oral. Ghanaians are saying if oral fails, the NDC will fail. I believe strongly that the NDC government will deliver. I salute James Gunu, the Volta Regional Minister. Idris is joining us from WA this morning. Good morning, Idris.
Yeah, good morning, Kabile.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm better than you people, by the grace of God.
Great.
Let me say good morning to the people of Upper West Region. Wow. While I am you're doing D24 Lana. And good morning to now, because we are all from the northern sector. And actually, I was very, very happy about the journalists that spoken about Bole, Bomboy, Upper West, Humble Road. I was very happy about it. You see, I will find it difficult again if President Mahama leaves office without fixing this road again. One of my good brothers just calling. He's the man from Bole. I beg you, if you come to Bole to the Upper West region, if you return back to Accra, you will never wish to come to Upper West again. It seems like we are not part of the country in terms of road. We all know what our own government are coming and say, year of road. But we have not seen a single road that has been tied in the Upper West region that is very serious road. So we beg the president to catch on this road because the road is ECOWAS road. This is a road that has been feeding the country with maize, with everything in terms of farming. But I don't really understand them. We beg them, they should tie that road. And then secondly, I wasn't taking time to listen to all of them before I left. But I didn't hear anything from the LGBT Act again. What are they going to do about it again? We're all expecting this issue. This is another issue that let the people vote against the NPK party. We need immediate answer, immediate questions from this issue again. The LGBTQ, we are very interested about it. But you see, actually, in Ghana, immediately when you get power, you are facing opposition again. But we beg the NDC party, because of Bole, Bomboy, Upper West Road, there is not a single MP that has been voting for NPP again because of this road. So we want them to fix the road. We beg them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Idris, for calling. Some of you are still sending in your messages. This one from Kofi Kwatin from Kokro in Suta. You said that the difference between President John Dramani Mahama and Akufo-Addo was evident yesterday, while Akufo-Addo in all 3 times he met the press in his 8 years would gather all his 125 ministers who he would call one after the other to answer questions from journalists. Yesterday, we saw a president who was on top of the issues there. Prince Henry Kufuor, you say that on the president's media encounter yesterday, all I would say is that President Mahama is resetting Ghana and ready to give us the Ghana we want, so we should fully support him to deliver.
I was going to read another message from Prince Henry. I guess he sends 2. He says, at this point, all I ask Ghanaians to do is to support the NDC government led by President Mahama to deliver on its promises. President Mahama is very humble. Good morning, my sister and brother. As a matter of fact, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama did very well answering all the questions correctly. However, I did not like the eye contact of the bodyguard standing behind him. The way he was looking at the president should be watched. What's that? That's from Kotoka Courage, texting us. I don't know what that means. Abbas Abongo from Ofinso says, President Mahama was on point, answering all the questions. Indeed, we have a good president. Bolgadi Line, a landlord, says, God bless His Excellency the President for his honesty and truthfulness to the people of Ghana. We pray he finds the strength to deliver in areas that reasonable Ghanaians reasonable Ghanaians are impressed so far. Indeed, JM is the future. And one last one before we go back to the phone lines. Then Gaddafi from Ilo Krobo says, good morning now. Yesterday, the media encounter with the president shows that Ghana's democracy is working again. I'm excited about his comments on oral because Ghanaians voted massively for him to prosecute corrupt officials. God bless our homeland, Ghana. All right, back to the phone lines. We have another caller joining us. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Ibrahim. I'm calling from Kamali.
Ibrahim, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I was happy last night because the media press engagement with President Mahama, but I was expecting maybe one of you or one of the journalists should ask about this thing, the drug abuse. The drug abuse here in Northern region, we face a lot of trouble through that our youth engage themselves into the trauma. So I was expecting maybe one of you should ask questions about that, but unfortunately.
Okay.
So I will urge you, maybe next time when you have opportunity to ask questions like what you people do last night, so that you may add it to your questions.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Tamale.
Tamale. All right. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. All right. So he's talking about drug abuse in Tamale. All right. Oje Kona, I wanted to inform Mr. President, even if they bring the money, they must do community service for 5 years. All right. You can keep your messages coming in and also call us. Do you have more messages?
No, not yet, but we still call on our viewers. You can still call in and share your views on the things that the president spoke about. I mean, oral, we discussed oral, but he gave some updates on specific cases that are to be filed. So first, the NSS case, he says charges have been drafted against the former boss, Eric Osei-Sibe, Eric Nyako, and Dr. Gifty Owari. So the charges will be filed shortly. With respect to the National Cathedral matter, the president said that investigations are still ongoing. Also, Chairman Wuntumi, Bernard Intwi-Boesiako, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the MPP, and his company, Akunta Mining. The president said that charges have been drafted and they will be filed shortly. Also, other cases that charges have been filed. There's the Exim, charges will be filed. There's the Exim Bank one, the buffer stock case, the drip importing equipment one, the sports program that took place here, the African All Nations tournament that occurred here in Ghana, and also the match set one. It's also another matter that charges will be filed once the legal vacation ends and the courts resume their operations. We have another caller joining us from Wale Wale. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm very well. How about you?
I'm also fine. This Sunny.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I just want to commend our president. In fact, this is one of the best, if not the best, encounters ever Kufuor started it. I think yesterday's one was top-notch because the president prepared very well. And then if you look at the questions that the journalists also asked, in fact, a very, very prudent one, especially multimedia. You are the journalist who asked about the depreciation of the CD. In fact, she did fantastic well, and the president also explained it very well to our satisfaction. In fact, these were the questions that we went on to hear, and they really did so. So I was happy about the Kolgo multipurpose dam. The guy from Bolga who asked about that one. In fact, the president assured us that he's going to continue because if it is done, it is going to help the people of that area to engage in all-year farming, irrigation, and all that. But I wanted him to also finish the question because the man was asking what is he going to do about the colossal amount of money that was spent on the project, yet nothing meaningful was done. Okay, so I want the president to investigate the matter thoroughly and make sure that those who spent the monies are prosecuted to serve as a deterrent, because I don't see why Northerners would want to punish their fellow Northerners if the project was done. In fact, my brother, this Bagri Dam which was built and we saw all that kind of devastation and all that wouldn't have happened. So the president should try and make sure that those people who spent our monies, the $12 million, who spent it and we didn't see anything there, the people are prosecuted. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sani, for calling from Wale Wale. You can still call in and share your views with us on the matters that the president spoke about yesterday. Lots of issues.
One key thing he spoke about is the fact that this administration has not issued any new licenses, mining licenses, and I thought that was a very commendable thing, an important point to raise. And he also spoke about our journey towards the repeal of LI 2426.
Yeah.
And this is something that this call has been ongoing, since the run-up to the December 2024 elections. And so, let's talk to Ernest, joining us now on the phone lines. Hello, Ernest.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Ernest. You're welcome to the show.
Okay. Yeah, my concern was we farmers, onion farmers in Ghana now.
Okay.
This year, we're producing more onion in this country so that the government can stop importation of onion in this country. For us, I'm speaking to our onions and our family are not getting market for it.
You're not getting markets to sell the onion?
The onions, because still the importation one are coming to the country. All the money that we invested, all the particular that our MP, Mama Dramaro give us, or they are all in the fund. The rain started again.
Are you calling from K2 South?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is our challenge as a farmer.
Okay.
So if the government can stop importation for onion for this season for now, up to end of October, so that we farmers in Ghana now, so a lot of farmers, we are now producing more onion. Even if you go to the farm place all over Ghana now, we are producing. So government to pay attention for us. As a farmers, we are paying electricity bills, high electricity bills, tariff for any industrial area. So produce all those things that we can sell. It's a headache for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. You can still call and share your perspectives with us from the president's encounter yesterday. 8 months in office, he accounted for the major milestones as well as some of the challenges that the country has been facing and the way forward in terms of dealing with those matters as well. I also thought the conversation around the free senior high school, I thought that was also interesting. You know that there had been suggestions that review meant cancellation, all those back and forth. He actually says that they've actually increased expenditure in terms of how much they are allocating for the free SHS. They are doing about 3.5 billion now. In terms of basic education also, the highest donation contribution in terms of almost a decade is what is happening currently. And so that is it by way of the education sector and the free SHS.
It was also pleasant to hear that the school feeding program has now been localized. And so they're empowering the schools themselves to do their procurement and the cooking and so on to cut down on the cost. And I thought that was a step in the right direction. Because before now, we know that it was decentralized. So there's somebody somewhere who's providing for X number of schools and procuring from a particular region. But now it's localized. So that will significantly cut down the cost and improve the quality of the meals that our children get in schools. We have Jacob joining us now from Ashaiman. Hello, Jacob. Jacob, can you hear me? Me pacho you.
And me hear mu journalist for now mu call now mu bisa question. Obi abisa about Galamsey.
What's obi abisa about Galamsey?
Galamsey afem no mu kan. Say aban ba no me fight Galamsey. Me meet you no me tanka me die lo du call. Galamsey be do mu ye Galamsey ni pa. Ye kokrum ono Mr. Da kokrum na bisa mu wo krum afa. Galamsey ni ye gunwa ebe bo mu ana bo. Obi mu ka ye ni say obutu abama joma na obeba bo mu na Galamsey no obutu ye. It is a joma su ba no be bu Galamsey a. So they to take the global go track the NDC. But they are journalists for who about Galamsey. Okay,
Mr. Jacob. Mr. Jacob. Me pacho. Ebia time now we start to say we share na ya ka Galamsey na asem na wie. And so the cry woman say omo ka Galamsey ho asem. And on my opinion so ano. Nti ebia wo hu anu nti no. We dey to be call TV3 a social media page this one be who video dey da wo ho. Obetumi ahwe.
Obetumi. But me see. Oh, the Ghana
Okay, I think we lost Jacob there. You might have missed the part about Galamsey. Jacob, is that you?
Hello? Yes.
Okay, Jacob.
Galamsey na meeting. Yeah, you load fuel. You load fuel.
Who load fuel?
Yes, you load fuel for police station. One go be Galamsey o mu ye Galamsey on.
Oh, okay. E wa hefa.
You call water amefi afranse. That village when we are facilitated to one, they do a call, when they call me say, Michelle, that couple of one. One that top one was facilitated when we saw about Galamsey and said, a one and a bomb, because almost when I said, a better one and a half, almost in Chile, Now, as you know, we are no didi. It is a buying that of best or best granted more. Almost of the
Okay.
Wow. But let I want to obviously gonna say, almost issue, almost that. And more from one, but not a dinner is for me calling one. I'm going to talk to Makataka of the chat. No one walk from one say, only come walk from one say. Gonna say, no, we are there, that's one bomb. That means you're gonna say that. Oh, the whole gonna hear, papa. You call me, say, that's what from come before question about gonna say, we that me before the young that started. Na papa bi won mo tell me ya ese bi pa o si o mu so le ti aban.
Jacob, okay, well, thank you for calling. You made your point there. And I missed some of what you said, but basically he was talking about the Galamsey menace. He works in the area, Awasa. He says that he supplies fuel to some of the stations there, and he sees the state of Galamsey, and it's still ongoing, and attention needs to be given to that area in particular. But the president did comment on it yesterday. He might have missed it. You can also call us, let us know your general assessment of the president's encounter yesterday with the media, the quality of questions that were asked, the quality of answers that we received, and the overall engagement. So this is the first the president is doing in this administration. And I think it's the first in 6 years, about 6 years. The last time the president in the previous administration held a media encounter like this was about over 5 years ago. Yeah. Now, I think, like, from my general assessment, just watching the journalists and the president's encounter yesterday, I noticed there's somewhat a fair distribution, from the regions.
Yes, yes. People from the regions were allowed to join. It also seemed the call out was a bit random. So, like, you lift your hand, just
pretty much anybody
people.
could be called.
Yes, and that was also very good in terms of. I mean, in times past, there have been allegations that questions are planted here and there and everything. I think the questions generally this time around
it seemed rather random.
Yeah.
And it was a fair distribution too. Representation in terms of regional representation, gender, types of media houses, languages spoken. I think it was all together, very well put together and very, very well organized. And the time too, we should commend the president for starting on time. And it was to last 1.5 hours or so. And they were able to stay very close enough within that time limit. Do we have another caller joining us? All right. Thomas has just joined us. Hello, Thomas.
Yes, Mommy, good morning.
Good morning, Thomas. Welcome to the show. Where are you calling us from?
The traffic bomb.
Efi here?
The traffic bomb.
Bong.
Okay. Yes.
Welcome to the show.
I said, and son on my beco in finance minister. Hello.
Yes.
Because you could not say me. Yeah, former minister, finance minister, for that. Shut all in car issue by but she shut all your Ghana too. Then you could show record about finance minister. Up to now, you think once in Gia or Ghana. And journalists don't want to be now quite some president about the for that issue in 20%.
Okay, thank you. He's asking why the journalists did not ask about Ken Ofori-Atta. Well, perhaps it's one of the questions that could have been asked, but we acknowledge the fact that we can't ask all the questions. I think there were 4 rounds, or the 4 questions per round, and there were 5 rounds.
Yeah. I mean, the president actually granted an extension as well.
Yeah,
I mean, they should
have about 3.
Yes, so that also led in. I think maybe next time they could do. I don't know whether 3 hours would be too long. For
also, the time of day it was.
Yeah, the 8
the time it was at 8 p.m. Started at 8 p.m. And a lot of the press people present were to be on TV and radio this morning, or to travel back to their regions. And so the time of day also might have, contributed to the duration that was allowed. But it was short and sweet.
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree? Yes, it was short and sweet. All right, Alhaji is joining us now on the phone lines. Hello.
Hello.
Alhaji, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Na.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
How is 250?
She's great, thank you.
And the Roland too.
He's fine too.
Joseph Akable, I hope everything is well.
Yes, please. I'm good, Alaji.
We thank God. Let me send my greetings to Shemi Mamuse and his husband, Alaji Alasan, and Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Debra, and Honorable Benata Yafo, and Azoka, and Dr. Abukar Wumbi. Yesterday media engagement, I think President John Dramani Mahama is a president who has a vision for the country. Because of that, and he engaged the media always. So, far as government, we did not see this before. Because when they say they will engage the media, they run away about the engagement of the media. Because of what? They will ask him question and he will refuse to answer that question. Even Dr. Mahmoud Bome engaged the media. When somebody asks him a question, he will leave the question and go and talk different things. So this kind of president and we want. I think my problem is that also account in your station ask some question about our General Secretary Fifi Yaji, saying that some of our people protect the corrupt people. And President John Dramani Mahama answered that question and he referred to AG Dominic Apotika Ayene to investigate that thing. So he will be happy that Secretary himself to answer that question, but it's not. This thing and we need. But the Palugu Dam question, I think Palugu Dam MPP misuse our money, $12 million. $12 million. And they did not start the Palugu Dams yet. And people don't think that they start the Palugu Dam. And so we need to arrest that people who stole our money, $12 million. We shouldn't leave these people and they go free. If this thing do not continue, and people will think that we come and lie to them. But the Palugu Dam, inshallah, in the name of God, we will do it. And people will be happy. But he talked about our water program in Tamale. I think northern region, we have a water program, especially Tamale. So President John Dramani Mahama give us assurance that we will solve the problem for us. So let's appreciate what Excellency John Dramani Mahama did. And we pray for the John Dramani Mahama to continue to do the good thing. But my program is that PURCU, they are starting to sabotage the government. Because yesterday, when they say they will increase the utility and tariffs at 200 or something %, I still that. Because if you say you will increase it 200 something %, it means that you sabotage the government. They shouldn't do so to sabotage our government, because if they do so, then people will lose trust in our government. We suffer and the party come to power. We don't want to be there again. We don't want to go to opposition again. So thank you very much to give me this opportunity. Now, goodbye.
It says, my take on the president's media encounter is about oral. If they fail to prosecute oral victims, I swear they should forget come 2028. Also, Ken must be pursued and brought down. That is coming from Ralph in Akuse. There's this message here from a very regular viewer of the show. You insist that you want it done now. Happy birthday wish actually at this time. Happy birthday to Veronica Norris Enusin, the team lead financial institutions, Provident Insurance Limited companies coming from Rwanda there. So happy birthday to Veronica Enusin, team lead financial institutions, Provident Insurance Limited. We can take a break at this point, right?
Yes, I think we can. I think we can. We'll be back with big issues. Oh, wait. Well, since we're doing birthdays, I have a special birthday. It's my brother's birthday.
Oh, that's
Edwin
nice.
Ni Ayadoku. It's your birthday today. Lots of love from me and all your sisters. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. If you haven't cashed out, please do so, especially if it's your birthday. There's sprinkle a little birthday dust luck. I'll cash out this morning. Dial *439# Select option 2. I've got 16,000 Ghana cedis. 16,000. 16, and it's going out to 8 of you. So 2,000 cedis per person. Dial now and win. That said, stay tuned. We'll be back with the rest of New Day. When we come back, we'll get into big issues this morning. Stay tuned.
The Nido or Batampa promo is back again. Yes, here's your chance to win a fully paid family getaway in Nido's or Batampa More promo. Look inside your Nido 23-gram promo sachet for a code. Dial *380*11# on your phone's keypad and follow the prompts to win exciting prizes at Tipashimu. Nido, your love, their future. This advert is FDA approved. This promo is regulated on the Caritas Lottery platform. T's and C's apply.
And your man any better so big Gary and now be a dish. Oh yeah, yeah, made in Ghana. I'm a multi-pepper soap. Semina bako a yadi bebre. We say fatase ubia any bipia beshre. Sankratwe FDA agiatum.
I woke up like this. I couldn't show my face to anyone without makeup. Even with makeup. Because of acne. And then I found the Forever Clear Acne Control Set.
The Forever Clear Acne Control Set deep cleanses pores, kills spots causing bacteria, and gently dries out acne and washes away excess oil and trapped dirt.
So every day, I use the acne soap or the acne wash and the acne gel. And I always moisturize my face to retain the goodness.
Forever Clear, caring for tomorrow's beauty needs today.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Every morning, I wake up to this miracle sleeping soundly, but mornings weren't always this peaceful. I remember the sleepless nights, leaks that woke us both up, damp clothes and tears. And all I wanted was for my baby to be dry and comfortable. Then I discovered Flora Kids baby diaper. Its maximum absorption keeps my little one dry all night, giving us peaceful, restful sleep. And the stretchy side tapes, they make sure it's comfy even when she's on the move. Thanks to Flora Kids baby diaper, our nights are calm and our mornings are full of giggles. For bulk purchases, call Delta Paper Mail on 0243 033 033.
Hey, my head really aches. Feeling cold and feverish.
Sorry. I know the solution to your problem. It is Procold.
Procold? I bought some 3 days ago, but I'm not seeing any improvement. You can even have a look.
This is fake. Let's go to the drugstore. Please, we want Procold. No, not this.
Oh, but this does the same work, and it's even far cheaper.
No, we insist you give us Procold from Kojak. I don't understand why people give this fake Procold, and why they don't give the fake one. Then they give you a similar one with a different name and tell you it works the same. But it is not so. If it's not Procold from Kojak, then we won't accept it.
So this is the original Procold. It has the logo and Kojak boldly written on it.
Yes, for quick and effective relief from headache, flu, nasal congestion and other feverish conditions, insist on Procold from Kojak.
Procold, K-O-J-A-C-H. Procold.
This advert is FDA approved.
Sister, me dad,
The discussion progresses. Now I'd like to take us back to last night during that media engagement to take a look at some of the key issues that the president spoke about. Let's start with the state of the Ghana cedi. Let's take a look.
We recognize a very steep appreciation in the value of the cedi in response to the reforms that we were carrying out. And for those of you who listened to me, there was one occasion where I said, people were asking whether it will go below 10. And I said, it is dropping, but it will find its true value. It was undervalued at 16, and it probably is overvalued at 10. But somewhere between there, we have the real value of the cedi. And so I believe that it is about stopping rapid depreciation of the currency. Almost every currency would realize either depreciation or appreciation in the course of a year. But when you have steep depreciation of about, like we had in 2024, 25% depreciation in the currency in the first half of the year, it makes planning difficult. And so, yes, Bank of Ghana has been intervening in the forex market, but they've withdrawn. And what happened was that because of the rapid appreciation in the value of the cedi, we saw an exponential increase in imports, because then people could buy cheaper dollars and so they could import more, which is a natural economic phenomenon. But on the other side, exporters are not happy because they get less cedis for what they export. And so every country tries to find out a balance where exporters are able to do good business and importers are not overburdened by high forex rates. Where that lies, I don't know. I'm not a central bank. But the cedi is making an adjustment, and I believe that it will settle at a certain rate, and we will make sure that any depreciation that occurs in the value of the cedi is within a margin of about 5% per annum. That is what we target. And so for now, there's still speculation. It's also coincided with a period where we saw a reduction of 50% in remittances, because citizens in the diaspora were taken aback by the rapid appreciation of the cedi. And so if somebody was building a house, if he was going to send $100,000, it meant that he was losing a certain percentage of that 100,000. And most of them would decide to adopt a wait-and-see attitude and say, oh, no, as for cedi, it's not possible that the cedi can regain its value to that extent. By all means, to go up again. So I'll hold back my remittance until the cedi goes back up. So we saw a 50% reduction, but there were also some other factors. There were some money transfer companies that were collecting cedis abroad and not repatriating collecting dollars abroad and not repatriating the dollars. There were other which we're investigating. There were other cases where people applied through the commercial banks for foreign exchange to cover imports, and those monies are transferred to pay for imports, but the imports never came into Ghana. And we've studied a period of 4 years, and over the period of 4 years, about $42 billion was taken out of this country without the corresponding imports coming into the country. And so we've started sanctioning some banks, and soon we'll start interrogating some individuals who ostensibly took money out against imports but never brought those imports. We want to know what happened and if there was wrongdoing to sanction whoever it is. While we work to stabilize our economy and improve the value of our currency, we must protect that currency, because a strong cedi is good for all of us. But when that happens, some people try to take advantage of it. And I think that we should all condemn anything like that.
President last night speaking on the state of the Ghana cedi, stabilizing the currency and ensuring that it serves all of us well, and its position and performance against the major trading currencies. This morning is just about 12.15 according to Google, the exchange rate as of now, as we speak. And we know that it dropped from 15, 16, it was dropping very quickly, and that's what the question was based on, and how it's doing now, and why we are where we are, and whether or not it's going to keep going up. That was the question, and the president answered it in the video that we have just shown you. We've been joined on the phone lines by economist Peter Tekpe. He's joining us on Zoom to also share his opinions on the president's response. Hello, Peter.
Hello, good morning.
Dr. Peter Tekpe, thank you so much for joining us. We're very happy to have you to start the conversation with us today.
Thank you.
What's your general assessment of the response the president gave to the performance of the Ghana cedi?
Thank you. Thank you once again, and good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners. Yeah, indeed, the president has given the practical, reason for one of the variables that causes the movement in the currency. Ghana, our currency is cedis. And so the cedi used in the country should have been the only medium of exchange. But unfortunately, because the economy is import-driven, it calls for other currencies that we will need to trade, which is mainly the USD, as we all know. And one of the variables is speculation. And anytime people want to speculate on a currency, it depends on what is happening in the economy or what the leaders are saying. And so when the rate was appreciating very fast, everybody was giving out their dollars because they know it's going to go down anyway. Until the president made a statement about looking at 12 levels. So people who have started giving out their dollars from the corporate institutions, because the issue is that there is enough liquidity in the market, but this USD or foreign currency are held by corporate institutions and individuals. And so when they saw that the rate was going down, they started selling it out so that they rather convert their currencies into cedis and do business. But when that statement came from the president, and that's why I say that is one of the speculation, that's one of the drivers. When the statement came from the president, then people now start to pull what I call, they pull a break. Then, hey, the president talked about 12. So let's wait. It will go up again to 12. So all those people who were releasing dollars into the system, but that is individuals and corporate institutions, they've stopped. People who also start bringing in foreign currency in terms of foreign direct investment, like the president indicated, also stop because they say, the president says it will go to 12. So if you want to bring money to buy a house, you want to bring money to buy a land, to build for you, wait till you get to 12. And so these were the reasons why the appreciation was short-lived. And so what the president said was a practical example for speculation on the currency and what actually happens on the ground.
The speculation to help the cedi appreciate?
Hello?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you now.
You've just spoken about the importance of speculation in the performance of the cedi, because the president's subsequent statement about the cedi probably getting to 12 cedis, you say played a major role in the performance of the cedi as of today. So my question is, can the same strategy, so to speak, be employed in assisting the appreciation of the cedi?
Because of the strategies in appreciation of the cedi's appreciation or depreciation is driven by demand and supply. Normally, getting to end of the year from between August, September, that is where people, import for Christmas. And so we normally see a spike in demand within this period. And so normally within this period, if there's no enough liquidity to meet the demand, we will see this depreciation happening. And so after October, you will see that the rate is expected to stabilize more, because people might have now finished their transactions with Christmas import, and so you see demand also lowering as well. Unfortunately for us as a country, apart from gold, which is giving us enough income, cocoa, which should have been, unfortunately, we are not getting enough from cocoa. Luckily, we were told that some money is coming. If it comes, that is very good. Our oil import, we all know how prices have been as a result of that. And then we are not able to go to the international market to borrow anymore. And so the source of our liquidity in terms of forex inflow has been restrained at a certain level. And so for us to see appreciation, we have to ensure that our export sector is very vibrant. And that is why the president's quest to increase our export value is very key, because that is going to be one of the key drivers to help to get enough forex to be able to meet the demand that will come, because demand for FX is always constant. It will always be there, so far as the economy is dependent on import. And so what we have to do is to make sure that our export increases, that sector booms, so that we can get enough inflow.
Dr. Peter, I'd ask you to please stay with us. I'll come in studio and talk to my guests in studio. Stay with us. We will come back to you shortly. We also have on the line with us Dr. Samuel Ifri. He's also on Zoom with us. He will join in the conversation. Doc, are you with us?
Yes, please. I'm here.
All right. I think I'll let you go ahead and take a bite at this particular discussion before I come in studio to speak to the ladies. Were you satisfied with the president's response on the performance of the Ghana cedi?
Yes, thank you very much, and greetings to Shamima and also Rosalind, and also to your cherished viewers and listeners. You know, when it comes to the president's address yesterday, media encounter, I will commend the president that within the first 8 months, that is his term, 4 years, and within 8 months, he's engaging the media to let us know what his promises that he made to Ghanaians about how he's faring and how he can also solicit information from the Ghanaian people. So, you know, I think that is a good step, and he being a media or a communicator as well, is trying to let us know that he's on top of issues. But about the cedi and the dollar, you know that I also have the same concern about my panelist, my co-panelist just said. We realize that when it comes to the economy, we have not been able to do well in our past because of where we have short measures and short ways of handling our economy. And I have an issue about always measuring our economy based on exchange rates, which that is the cedi dollar, because it means that we have not been able to do well internally, domestically, to able to address some of these issues. But the president came in with a high exchange rate of the cedi dollar, and it made sure that it has to be stabilized. And I commend the president for stabilizing the economy for this while, whatever means or whatever ways that at the end of the day, the cedi and the dollar it's been stabilized. So I think that as we progress, it's 8 months. 8 months cannot be used to diversify the economy within the shortest possible time to make things as if that we are on a trajectory that we are making a lot of inroads. I think a lot of things need to be undertaken to address the cedi, as my co-panelist said about internal, that is domestically, how we have to put things in place to ensure that the cedi dollar. And you mentioned about speculation, and I was concerned when the president made a statement that the dollar will range between 10 to 12. And I said, no. When that being the case, then, because some friends will call you and ask you, hey, how is the dollar going to be? They want to know the future. They want to know what is ahead. And all of us were thinking that it even go down below the 10 cedis, or they say the 9. And when the president made that statement, that resulted in the speculations as that people will think that it go up. So people need to. And this season, this season is where most people, that is Ghanaians, tend to import a lot, make their orders. So there's a lot of demand from the banks and also individuals to ensure that they meet their because if you want to have a lot of things that is goods in December, there's a time where you meet the process because of shipment, because of other issues based on international trade. These are the things that may have also put pressure on. So there's a lot of demand for the city. And at the same time, I think that this year, last month, we can realize that the Bank of Ghana has reduced the supply of that is supporting the dollar into the economy. And I think these are the key issues that is affecting the city. But I believe that if the Bank of Ghana tends to put things in place, we might be moving on, and hopefully it will not go beyond as expected. Because if it goes beyond, then maybe the economy might be in a different perspective, and we may have a lot of challenges because we are not still grounded. We are still, should I say, in the air. We have not landed in terms of our economic issues. And I believe that the president and the Bank of Ghana and the Minister for Finance will ensure that we can get over this period of a lot of demand for dollars, and also seek other alternative where we can able to. And I think that the Bank of Ghana should be commended about the issues about how within, that is domestically, where we tend to price things in dollars and use dollar as a currency in exchange of whatever we do within Ghana. If you travel to other countries, you might not, even South Africa, you cannot have easy access to dollar or trade in dollars. But here, you see a lot of apartments, we see a lot of things. So Bank of Ghana should also be active in the way that controls the dollar within. When you travel, especially when it goes to China, you cannot easily trade in dollars. If you send it, you have it in their currency. So I believe that the Bank of Ghana approach of ensuring that there will be no more trading in terms of dollar in our economy, that is in Ghana, I think that is also another measure. And they have to be strict on that. It behoves on Bank of Ghana to ensure these things are adhered to. And also the foreign remittance agencies that have been trying to collect dollars and are not supplying them. It's quite unfortunate. And this has been going on where these agencies tend to manipulate our economy by trying to ensure that they keep the dollar, and at the end of the day, they will not supply it to where they have also made people to be exchanged for the city. And I think based on that, we can make a lot of improvement and stabilize the city, because that stabilization of the city has helped Ghana a lot, at least especially the business community. And all of us are interested, because you might be buying one or two things, and when you see the dollar going up, you say, hey, why couldn't I buy this, bought this last year or whatever, or let's say within that month. So we are more concerned because the dollar. And again, lastly, before I end, we talk about the gold board. I think there may be some challenges. I think we'll come to the small-scale mining and Galamsey, and we will tend to link up about the gold board contribution to the stabilization of the city. At the same time, the linkage to mining. And I believe we all try to ensure that we tend to make the economy stabilize, and it will be good for all of us, especially the business community.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Free, for those very important insights and thoughts on the comments that the president made regarding the city and the questions that were asked. Let's come in studio now and talk to you, Shamima. First, let's commend you and your team for a very well organized and executed press engagement yesterday with the president. And
indeed,
we spoke about it a few times on this morning.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very well done.
We receive all the commendations, we receive the positive feedback, and we also receive the feedback on what could have been done differently with regards to the time management and ensuring that we get many more questions through. So I think that the Minister of Government Communications, Honorable Felix Kwachio Fosu, as well as the Deputy Chief of Staff, the Honorable Stan Dogbe, they did a great job of, leading the process towards what we saw yesterday. I think that we are not surprised in terms of the optics of the event. We know that we always serve you very well, don't we? And if you look at the content also of the entire process, I think yesterday Ghanaians had another opportunity to see up close and personal the president they voted for, a president of humility, the president of competence, a deep understanding of all sectors. I don't think any president in the history of our republic has shown such depth of understanding and communication of every sector, every question.
Yeah, and
I'm happy that all of you see that this was not an engineered event at all. So for a president to put himself through that, open himself up that way, means that his heart is in a good place. You see, when you have a good heart and absolute good intentions for the country, you don't run away from even the problems you know or the challenges that you're facing. So there's no way that the president would not have been aware that the difficult challenges we're dealing with are questions that will arise. Obviously, it would go without saying, because even in his own cabinets, those are the questions he asks of his ministers on a daily basis. So, I mean, thank you to Ghana for really watching, apparently. Yesterday was really prime time.
Yes.
Everybody tuned in. And that's actually encouraging. It means that we are growing a generation of citizens who are interested, despite the distractions that come every now and then. So we will take on board the feedback from you, the media, and hopefully next time we'll get more questions through and be able to respond to them. But matters arising from some of the conversations that you have had already. I think that what the economy is calling on us to do is to all have a shared commitment to its growth and sustenance. We all agree that over the past 8 months, we have seen sustainability and we have seen a certain stabilization of the economy. It has led to some very positive, indicators. Inflation has come to an all-time high. We're even hoping that before the end of the year, we may hit a single-digit inflation. Primary balance has moved from negative to positive. We all agree. We've made quite substantial inroads in terms of the image, restoring the image of Ghana, in the Committee of Nations and also internationally with our current rankings, which is now really is a positive outlook from the junk status that we inherited. One thing you can give commendation to the president for yesterday, at no time did he seek to continuously blame the previous administration for the rot they left behind. If you listen to his answers to the questions, he has owned the challenges that he has come into. And he's presenting to Ghanaians in a candid, in a transparent, and in a truthful manner where the challenges are and what we are doing to address those challenges and what he needs from us to be able to work together. So this thing about the cedi depreciation is a shared responsibility, and we cannot run away from it. How much government intervention can stem the tide of a deteriorating cedi if all the various actors and stakeholders do not, imbibe the right values? So recently, that's where we are. And as much as we need to enforce, which we will, we also need to call on conscientious citizens and business owners. Recently, the Bank of Ghana had to sanction UBA because they had breached their forex trading licenses. We all know that there is an unholy alliance that happens between some bankers and the black markets. And at the end of the day, we all get to, suffer the consequences
and we still
of those fuel actions. Also, you wanted to say something? We
still have a lot of businesses quoting their prices in the US dollar.
Yes.
And this is something that we all know also affects the performance of the city. And they advertise.
We all know
We see it on TV,
so
we see it
what
on social
you must
media.
do to help us as the media is to continue to call out, because I keep saying that The development of this country is not the responsibility of the politicians. The media has responsibility, and everybody who sits and criticizes but are engaged in actions that are, causing havoc to the economy, we need to call them out and shame them. I mean, why would you transfer forex out of the country with the intent of bringing goods in? Because that is what you would have to prove before the Bank of Ghana grants you, the leeway, or even your bank, to transfer the forex outside, and you don't bring in any goods. So yesterday, the president had cause to caution against such actions, and that we would trace companies or individuals who have transferred money out of this country, supposedly to import products that never came to the shore of this country. We must begin to call some of these people out. Please remember that if we work together and we ensure that the economy works, it will work for all of us. I think businesses want stability, and stability can only happen if you are also not upending the process towards, stability. It's almost like you are stabbing yourself in the back and you're expecting to live, So please, on this occasion again, I'd like to reiterate the president's call that building the country is a shared responsibility, including the media. Yesterday, we all woke up to reports from another media company saying that they had uncovered huge numbers of excavator imports, and they had also uncovered the movement of these excavators in the middle of the night. As far as 25th August, the Ghana Ports and Harbors had given out a public announcement stating that there's this operation happening. As far back as when the president addressed the country during his 120-day promise, he did tell us that we are having an influx of excavators sitting at our ports. As far as the 120-day march. No, but let me say that it is important. You see, you, the media, you always criticize us. But we are also trying to point out to you your criticism. That is how it works. We understand. You criticize us, we also draw your attention to the actions that will, cause havoc. So even as at now, that station has not withdrawn that publication. And then even yesterday, I was going back to your news, and I saw that a headline that said excavator smuggling claims on TV3 after on your 7 p.m.
claims.
News. Yes, you said but that is conditioning. You see, we all have done this work before. It's conditioning. The fact is there smuggling of excavators. People have brought excavators. Some of them have not been able to bring their proof as to what they have brought those excavators for. The regulation is, if you cannot prove that you have brought this excavator for any other purpose, then other than Galamsey, because we have banned the importation of excavators because of Galamsey. Construction is there, small-scale miners, legal miners are there, big mining corporations have brought in their heavy equipment. They have proof, they are able to clear. Those who have not been able to clear are those who have brought those excavators for illegal purposes. So there's nothing about smuggling. And we have indicated it. So if we continue repeating these things, it's almost like we want to deliberately draw the country back. Do we want to build this country together, or do we want to engage in unnecessary contestation over matters that have been resolved? So that is what we expect the media to always also do. Responsible journalism.
It's a shared responsibility. Rashamin, I'll come back to you. And Rodlin, you watched the encounter yesterday. What's your general assessment of it?
Good morning to our cherished viewers. Yesterday, I watched the encounter, and I thought that our president was on top of issues, because somehow he was able to give us some good answers. So it wasn't a very bad encounter. It was rather very good. I listened to him, and the answers he was giving, I was jotting some of them down. I was particularly interested in the exchange rates of the cedi. And the answer he gave, I thought, was quite a good one, that it would find its own bearing. So at 12 cedis or 12 cedis plus, I think that we are getting there. Everyone is saying he mentioned 12. Yes, he did, and I also took note of that. So I thought that that was good. But you see, when it comes to the dollar situation, I am looking at the causes that, bring about this whole hula baloo of exchange rate going up, exchange rate coming down. I think that we have to look at a lot of places. I'm asking myself, are we on top of issues at our free zones boards? Are we on top of issues when it comes to private sector exports, those who are into various things that they export? Are we able to regulate them to make sure that whatever they take out and sell in the dollars or in any forex at all, do they bring the monies back? Then also, I felt that everybody is interested in the dollar because anything that we want to do, any form of trade at all from this country is dollars. But then, if we're looking at it, you ask yourself again, how are we doing, or what are we doing to protect the currency, the cedi? As we sit, we import unnecessary goods. We use our dollars. Unnecessary goods, look, hair products alone, we import about $323 million.
Why are you saying it's unnecessary?
It's unnecessary. You can keep your natural hair. You won't die. You won't die. It's unnecessary. Eyelashes. For you. 323 eyelashes.
So when you say unnecessary, you mean things that
are not essential. They are not essential. They are not essentials. Okay. You understand? And these same people are chasing the same dollar. And then we go importing stuff like second-hand clothes.
We've always imported second-hand clothes.
Yes, I know. We are the world's largest importer of second-hand clothes. Is it necessary? I mean, why should we spend about, 323, 200 and something, 26 million wigs and hair products? Why? And it's not that they generate any dollar. You see, when an importer of, say, fertilizer or any other thing that you can use to produce something, to export back, you know that, yes, it's going to export and bring back some dollars. But when you talk about importation of second-hand clothing, which ends up at the Kwale Lagoon, clogging up the lagoons, it ends up in the garbage bins, because these things are not things that are sustainable. You just wear it for a few times and you throw it away. I am not saying that you can ban bringing second-hand clothes. We've had it from time immemorial. But what is happening now is too much. How can we be the largest importer of second-hand clothing? Why? When we have all these textile industries, we make our own clothes. We've always made our own clothes. We've always worn our clothes. Why is it that second-hand clothes today is something that we should use our hard-earned dollars to go for? Not to talk of chicken feet and offal. Yeah. You understand? And all these things. There must be some form of regulation. We should make it clear that the banks will not give you dollars to go and import chicken feet. No, to go and import second-hand clothing. They are the people who should go out there and meet Abochi. And if Abochi is giving it to you at 15 cedis to $1, that is not what the government is giving. So I think that there has to be some form of regulation.
When you say Abochi, you mean the black market?
Yeah, the black market. Right. People are going out there to at least to buy the dollar. And these days, Gendarme news is such that they always go for Abochi rates. If you go to your bank and you're going to get, it's a question of, did you bring any dollars? So we are giving you dollars, right? For those who want over the counter. Mm-hmm. And then you also have those that are putting in invoices. We want to import such from this country. And they're saying, okay, you tell us how much and we'll pay direct. So you can't just go and grab the dollar from the bank unless you have put in dollars. Now, the situation at hand now is, which items are of importance for this country's growth? We're looking at pharmaceuticals. We're looking at educational equipment. We're looking at spare parts. Those are things that would need foreign currency. So we agree they would need that because we need to move. We need to have medicines. We need to have books and stuff. But I'm just against us using our hard-earned money for these kinds of things I just mentioned.
And actually this morning on the show, one of the callers said that we're importing things which we produce and are not able to sell.
And we're not able to sell.
He's an onion seller. He's an onion farmer. Calling from K2 South. And he said that they have produced so much onion and they aren't selling them because we have imported onions.
Yes.
And so the local onions are not selling. I thought that was a serious matter.
It is a serious matter. Local rice sellers are complaining. You know, local rice sellers are complaining because we are importing so much rice. Meanwhile, our people are producing rice and nobody is buying. You understand? We have to start taking some very, very stringent measures towards streamlining these areas. You know, you cannot afford to just have an open market system. You get me? And we are not in a situation where we can say that we are going to give special licenses like before. This is a situation where government can do something. We started off with mangoes. There was a craze. Everybody was growing mangoes. Suddenly, quiet. You know, we are now seeing the mangoes, but you can't even afford them. Then it got to other things. I mean, there's so much that is happening in this country without regulation. We are not following up on issues. That is how come we are suffering so much. There are some people, and look at the way things are across the borders. Exchange of dollar across the borders. Our sister country, the neighbors, our brothers and sisters from across, with one major one, I don't want to call so that today they will come and attack me on my Facebook. But they know that when you come here, our city is so strong, so they are all here working and they are changing the dollars and taking it across. Yes, because over there the dollar is quite good. When you change it into maybe Naira or you change it to whatever, you get good value for money. You get me? And then the one group of people that we seem to close our eyes, and they're also doing that in the Asian community. They also deal in a lot of goods with foreign currency. And they also take out a lot of foreign currency. That the president was just being diplomatic by saying some people. He could have mentioned the names. Majority of them are doing that. And we should not allow it. As a country, we have to be very, 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 strict with these issues. So Nashoko, I kind of liked what the president said. I was happy about his housing policy also. He talked about housing, how they were going to build some low-income housing, and I thought that was good. And then he talked about rent also, how they were going to look after rent. And my best was on the Palugu Dam, where he said that they were going to look at it again because of, you know, the way things are going out there. And of course, the Wate-Chiman Road was also mentioned, and I thought that was also good. But what I didn't really like was the removal of the baseline on capital that you would need to come and trade in this country. In as much as it's an ECOWAS thing or an AU thing, I don't think we are ready for it, because already you can see the Abukso kind people fighting with our brothers from Nigeria. You understand? Because of taxation issues and duty issues. The two countries have different taxation figures. Yes, and then you find that our people are not able to work. So I think that I'm not very happy about the removal of those ones. And also, I think he talks about building stadia across regions and stuff, and I thought that was also good, because we don't have parks, we don't have anything. I'm surprised that nobody mentioned about how we're going to have maybe some parks around our city. So Nachoko, he was good.
You've done an overall assessment.
Yes,
You've done an overall assessment. So Shamima, we spoke. You went directly on the state of the economy because we had started on the back of the comments from the economist. I want us to go to his comments on Galamsey, and he spoke quite passionately about Galamsey. He said that his administration is reluctant to declare a state of emergency, as has been called for by many actors in the space. In fact, many Ghanaians calling for a state of emergency in Galamsey areas. He said this government is reluctant because there are still legal remedies to resort to, and there's no pressing need at the time at this time to declare a state of emergency, and also his government has not issued any mining licenses in our forest reserves and since the start of the year, and other things. Now, the question is whether this is satisfactory, especially to all those who have been calling for more to be done. We heard that the Ghana Water Company is proposing a 280% adjustment, upward adjustment in tariffs. And their reason, one of the reasons they gave, was the fact that our water treatment has become more expensive because of Galamsey. So it is still a pressing issue. Yesterday, I was listening to Ahula Sewa on Ghana Tonight, and she was not happy at all, and saying that we don't even need to call this Galamsey anymore because they're not using small tools like they used to when we started saying Galamsey. We're just boys using these locally made tools. Now they are bringing machines, and so it is. She had a more complex expression, a more complex way to call it. But let's have this conversation now. And joining us to talk about Galamsey and the President's comments is Daryl Bosu, Deputy Director, AL Rocha, Ghana. And we know that they have been championing environmental protection and protection of our natural resources for a while now. Daryl, are you with us?
Yes, good morning, Nashiko. I believe you are great.
I'm fantastic, and we're glad that you have joined us. Let's get straight into it. You listened to the President last night. What is your assessment of the responses he gave, especially on declaring a state of emergency in Galamsey-prone areas?
I think that today is not a good day for us because, yesterday we did listen to the President and he spoke well on other sectors of the economy. But when it comes to Galamsey, I mean, everything he said, even about what they are doing about excavators, what they are doing about the state of the military people on the ground and all of that, he also eventually backtracked and stopped the campaign and efforts that is being put in place by making also the statement that, look, until we find employment for the youth, we can't sack them out of the pits. That for me was very progressive and actually a very bad way of really leading a country and dealing with an issue that has led to the destruction of over 60% of our rivers. Now, on the point of state of emergency, I was also really expecting more from the President. And for him to say that it's going to be a last resort, he's practically telling us that until every drop of this country is destroyed, then there is not going to be action. Otherwise, what does he mean by a last resort? So, the President really, in terms of his statement on the fight against Galamsey and all of that, it wasn't reassuring at all. It was not inspiring. And as far as we are concerned, it's really going to really be very, very difficult for anybody now on the ground trying to deal with Galamsey. There is no point training 2,000 water guards and blue guards if you still think that because there's unemployment that people should go into the pits. There's no point deploying 9 months to go to the field to try and deal with Galamsey if you think that the youth, until they get employment, they should be allowed to be in the pits. What are we telling ourselves? So I think that it was very retrogressive in the messaging and the posture of the government, and it's really unfortunate that the President took a national stage to say all of these things.
All right, Daryl, and it's a similar position that Ahula Sewa with Eco-Conscious Citizens made yesterday on Ghana Tonight. For those of you who missed that response from the President about tackling Galamsey, this is what he said. We'll come in studio and talk to Shamima and Rodley. And when the President's response to Galamsey is ready, we'll play it for you. Is it ready? All right.
I'm reluctant to implement a state of emergency in the Galamsey fight because we've not exhausted the powers we even have without a state of emergency. We have the opportunity to arrest anybody, to confiscate any such thing. There are laws for forest protection and all that give us enough powers to be able to act. Implementing a state of emergency might sound nice, but it should be the last extreme, the last resort. So for now, let's exercise all the powers we have. And if it becomes necessary for a state of emergency, then we'll look at it. It means we have to go to Parliament. The president can't just declare a state of emergency without, going to Parliament, because there's a limit to how long you can maintain that state of emergency. And so I believe that we still have leverage to continue to fight Galamsey without necessarily implementing a state of emergency. It means that we have to delineate the areas where the state of emergency is operational. And if you look at the area where Galamsey is taking place, it covers several districts of our country. And so we would do it if it becomes necessary. But for now, I think that we've given the security services enough powers to be able to deal with people who are found to be involved in Galamsey.
Right, so that was the president's response yesterday on the issue of Galamsey. Now, Shamima, the difficulty that I see from reviewing online comments and listening to some of the activists in the area, eco-conscious citizens, is that prior to the 2024 elections, the NDC was very actively proposing the declaration of a state of emergency. It was important then. All the local remedies that the president refers to were still available at that time. But at that time, we did not see the advocacy for these remedies to be amplified. Mm-hmm. Now you have the power and ability to do so. Why is the president saying that it's going to be a last resort because there are still local remedies to use to tackle this problem?
Well, I'm going to answer your question, but I'm praying that people would hear me even beyond the heightened sentiments, justifiably so, around the issue of this environmental terrorism that even within government quarters we agree we are faced with. So I hope that I'll be able to explain. Let me start from what your last speaker spoke about in terms of his interpretation to what His Excellency said, that the president said we are not able to transfer 4 million workers in the small scale and illegal mining sector. We cannot move them away from the pits if there are no jobs. The president didn't actually say that. I think that's a misrepresentation of what he was trying to say. In that same breath, he explained that it is true that you cannot ask people who have no alternative livelihoods to leave what they feel they eat from, because we'll stop them in one forest, they will just move away to the one forest. And one of the interventions was this program, the Responsible Cooperative Mining Program, which was an intervention to ensure a proper settlement of people engaged in Galamsey, in illegal mining, in forest reserves and other water bodies. We had gone so far as to reach a negotiated agreement with existing large-scale mining companies like Newmont and the others, who had agreed to cede off large tracts of their, of their concessions, which had trace gold, but not in the commercial value that they would be using their machinery to mine. So they had actually, the group that sat in that ill-fated flight were on their way to the launch. I think these are all in the public domain. So the president is literally telling you that these alternative programs are our hope to actually finally dealing decisively with the problem of Galamsey. We must take them from the illegal reserves. And for those who are still willing to do mining, we must put them into responsible cooperative mining programs. Whilst we are at it, we must also begin to expand job opportunities in other spheres, in agriculture, in trade, in skills. which is why the youth programs that have been launched, also targeting communities that have been havocked by illegal mining, so that the young people in those communities would have some alternative livelihood. That's one. Then he says that the issue about declaring a state of emergency. Yes. We hear everybody's concern and we take it on board. And His Excellency the President accepts the concerns from every well-meaning Ghanaian that we must do more to fight Galamsey. Now, Shoko, the previous government did an 8-year term. You, I, Awula Sewa, and the other environmentalists did not start from day one calling for a state of emergency. They did not start in the first term of the president calling for a state of emergency. As for the advocacy against the growing spate of illegal mining, it even transcends the previous 8-year regime. But in the second term, when we saw a proliferation of licenses written and signed under the hand of the president, as contained and allowed by the Regulation 2462, the forests were besieged. The problems became dire. The environmental impact was evident through the reports that we watched on your channels. So it was a national advocacy of all well-meaning Ghanaians, media, the environmental activists, including political parties like the NDC. So it was towards the end of tenure of Nana Akufo-Addo, after the failures of over 5 different operations that even led to the loss of life of Major Mahama, that we came to the point and conclusion that the fight had collapsed under the leadership of the previous administration. That the leadership they had provided, the commitment that had waned as a result of findings contained in a report presented by a Minister of Environment, that his attempt to fight the menace was being frustrated from no quarters other than the high quarters of the presidency. Names were mentioned. That minister, the Professor Frimpong Boateng, lost his job as a result of that report he wrote. Please pardon me, just 2 more minutes. We did not therefore come to the conclusion that there was now active leadership complicity. Because you see, when you're faced with a complex problem, it is the leadership that will continue to provide hope. So now when you get to the point where the general consensus, again, not the NDC's consensus, general consensus with you, the media, with other stakeholders, that the fight against Galamsey under the previous administration had collapsed. That is when the calls for the repeal of LI 2462, which is the LI that granted powers to the president to sign off mining leases in forest reserves, that also now opened up those forest reserves to the activities of illegal miners. So they said repeal LI 2462. NDC was in concert with that. Call for a state of emergency. Okay. Call for a state of emergency because all your powers for the past 8 years that you deployed had failed. Now, the Ghanaian people agreed that the NPP had failed, voted them out. You voted a new president in. Will you not even allow leave of this new administration to implement their programs under this new, renewed commitment on behalf of the people of Ghana? That is what His Excellency the President is saying. He's saying that we came in, we have made it top priority to fight Galamsey. It is a vexed, complex matter. We have not seen the fight against Galamsey as an event, but a process, which process was allowed for 8 good years under continuous advocacy. Do something, do something, do something. So please, what we are currently doing are the steps we are also deploying to ensure that we deal decisively with the Galamsey menace. Perhaps you want the results in a quick succession. Perhaps you believe that a declaration of a state of emergency today, when under this new leadership that hasn't been accused of complicity at the highest level, that its Minister of Lands and Natural Resources has not come to say he is being frustrated by anyone, that has a president that tells even members of his government that if you go and get yourself involved in illegal mining or Galamsey, and the law catches up with you, the law will deal decisively as the law should. So unless we begin to see that there is no commitment, please, allow the NIMOS and the president some time to implement his programs. If we ourselves assess that where we are heading to requires a declaration of a state of emergency, he will do it preemptively even before the calls increase, or reach a crescendo.
We are not quite there yet. All right. I wish I could say I'll come back to you, but you have exhausted all of your time.
Because your online people are plenty.
Yes.
We have to protest.
It all contributes to the conversation. And Darrell also wants to respond to one thing that you said, and then I'll come to you, Woodlin, before we wrap up this conversation. Darrell, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here. And I was listening to Samima and her feedback. But I think one thing we need to acknowledge is that the president or this government took over at a point where the country finds itself at a crisis point. And so it's not that we started on a clean slate and Galamsey is just beginning. We all acknowledge in before they took power that we needed new leadership to bring some end to the menace that we are seeing. And for that reason, the point where we were at the crisis point, we needed the very hard line actions to deal with this issue. And since the president took office, we've seen a lot of positive statements, positive policy processes and all of that. All I would say have been baby steps so far. And the very decisive actions that are needed, there's always sort of a keep dragging on them. And so I think that to say that we are at a point where the government is taking action, and the question we ask is, has the river started improving? Have the people stopped mining? The way we see it on the ground, mining is still ongoing as if there's nothing happening. Now, if we are saying that it will only be 9 months that goes to the field, then does it mean that the police is just sit idle in our local communities while the illegal activities continue until 9 months get to hear about it? So I think that there's a problem with the way we are seeking to address this issue. There are several phases to it. Many agencies can act in their own coordinated way, and we cannot assume that because it's a new government, we should give them time for them to also experience their own crisis point before they take action. So this is where I believe that the government needs to really reflect deeply, and that is exactly what we said also in the state of emergency. We said it needs to be targeted, it needs to be very targeted. The president acknowledges that there are certain regions, certain districts where Galamsey is more prevalent, and this will already be the target of engagement to make sure that we can bring some solution to this issue. Now we talk about NIMOS as well. NIMOS is in place, but the truth is that they don't even have the resources to deploy. And they are really established as a good organization, but not the resources to deploy, and that is why the impunity continues in almost all areas across the country.
Well, thank you so much. I wish I could come back to you with some of the questions which are coming up as you speak. But unfortunately, we have to wrap up the segment at 8:35. That's in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to give 1 minute each to our 2 docs who are joining us on Zoom. And then I'll give the remaining time to Rodley Nimoro in studio. Dr. Free, are you with us?
Yes, please.
Would you like to comment on the Galamsey issue?
Yes, I think that this issue is getting murky and at the same time based on various issues. But the president, I think, in the short, I would say that the president is in a difficult situation in handling because of the gold board, and he himself told us that most of the gold that is being sold to gold board, we have these illegal miners, some of them, because apart from gold board, there's no way that you can sell your gold. So in that case, how do you go in with stiff-handed way of handling Galamseyers? At the same time, gold board, most of the gold, or let's say some percentage, goes to the gold board. And that is where the president is being treading cautiously in order not to go in hard way, at the same time affecting the gold board in terms of development. So seriously, the president has to, but in all expectations, I think most of us and all Ghanaians, based on what was said during that time, is what we are using to measure the government in relation to the Galamsey minutes. And I think that it's getting out of bad because there's no coherent strategy. I think the strategy, you see, sometimes you see one of these government officials going to seize excavators. You see that another group of people, and within the party or within the government, you see some people doing things as if the government is not having a single approach towards the handling this Galamsey. We are in Ashanti region. You see, day in and day out, there's these soldiers clashes with the Tutunkrom, with these gold mining in Patuem. And you see the way these things happen. You see also the Ghana police also coming out with their own task force. So in this handling, the way we are handling Galamsey is that my key issue is that the government is not having a strategy that is a single strategy or a strategy that everyone will be on board to ensure that these minutes are being handled very well. But that is how I would say towards that. But I think the president is in difficulty, and I hope that he tries to manage it and try to convince Ghanaians that he is handling the situation very well. Because Ghana water turbidity has been doubled, 16 to 32. And I think we need to abreast ourselves and tend to handle this. The government cannot say entirely because we have more than 4 million.
On this topic, Doc, I'm sorry. Perhaps next time we talk, we can be able to talk a little more on the responsible mining cooperative program. You were saying that there is no program, but perhaps next time we can look at that program and your thoughts on how it's being carried out and the plans moving forward. Is Dr. Tekpe still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, I'll take your thoughts on the response to the Galamsey menace.
Yes, but just briefly, I think that yesterday the president, I have to commend him for demonstrating a high level of understanding of issues. I think that is very commendable. It's not easy, and I think that the president has done very well for that, especially in the response to the questions. But on the issue of Galamsey, it appears that we are calling for something that is not possible. Maybe because we are not in government, and so we don't understand, what goes into calling for a state of emergency, because we think that we've gone past the process of, implementing policies that will, stop Galamsey. But unfortunately, the citizens think that's not the case. That's not the way to go, because apart from force to apply now, I don't think there's any other way we can use to, control Galamsey apart from force. There's no other way, because Galamsey have grown beyond, negotiation. The reason is that a whole community gets up, and as we all get up, we go to our offices to work. That's where they also go. Like people go to farm, they also go to work just like that. And so it has become like doing the wrong thing over and over. That has now become a normal thing that you have to formalize it. That is why the government is looking at how to formalize it. Unfortunately, whilst the government is looking at formalizing it, it's becoming worse almost on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And Ghana water is threatening. And I think that it is now time for us to start looking at the checklist of the things that we say we want to do and how far we have come with it, so that if we are not progressing with the checklist on what we need to do, like regulation, enforcement, then we can look at applying the force. And I think that is the way that we can address this issue.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Peter Tekwe, they're joining us as well. I'm going to give the remaining time to you, Rodlin Imoro, in studio. Your comments on the president's response to Galamsey and all the other discussions that has
I've
been
listened
had.
to everyone's discussion. I mean, there's this feeling from all of us that maybe there should be a state of emergency. But he has explained that there are other things that he could do before deciding on whether to have a state of emergency or not. And one of them is the responsible cooperative mining.
Yeah, cooperative mining program.
I thought that was a fantastic idea, getting some land from the from AGC and Newmont and the other established mines. But the question is this: will the young people be willing to go? Those miners, will they be willing to relocate to those places? That's another question. The other thing is that even if we're looking, we all felt that there should be another form of giving them some form of employment, right? And the question, would they like to go? Because when you've been getting these kinds of money, you go, you get more money, 500, this 1,000, you feel like it's every day. So if you have to go now and go and probably work somewhere that you have to be earning at the end of the month, or even if it's a farm, you don't know how you're going to be able to get by. It might be a difficult situation. But then I just listened to one of the, I think it was the last speaker or the one before, and he was talking about, I didn't hear the president say that the gold board was buying from illegal miners. I think he said small-scale miners. But even if he said that illegal miners, I think that there must be a strategy there. Because that's the only way you can get data. You can get the names of people. You know, you can recognize those who are dealing in it. Would we rather the illegal miners sold the gold illegally? You know, would we rather they did that? Or is it better to say, okay, you're wrong, but you bring it closer to home. We would buy from you. Don't take it out. Would we? I mean, it's a catch-22 situation. Yeah. And that's how come it's very difficult and it's complex. You get me? But I think that in doing that also, I think the whole idea is to be able to recognize those who are dealing in it. As it is now, we do not arrest them. We are not arresting them, but we are trying to get onto their conscience to let them know that it's wrong to do this. You can do your mining, but do it responsibly and don't destroy the environment. So I think that Galamsey is a very complex situation that we have at hand right now, and we all have to deal with it. We all have to speak. We have to put a lot more advocacy on it for people to understand. For those who are doing it, I don't know how we cannot get to their conscience to know that it's wrong. But you know, but when you talk to most of them, it's the whole idea of money, money, money. Sometimes some people even have jobs, but they would quit the jobs and go and do Galamsey because they feel like whatever they are earning is not enough. Yeah. You get me? So it's not just a question of even giving them other alternative livelihoods, because even when they get it and they feel that it's not enough, they will still go back there. So maybe finally, we will have to wait and see whether the responsible cooperative mining issue would be able to solve the problems. But meanwhile, I would also want to urge the Ghana Water Company that, look, water place, I mean, like when you look at Wager, for instance, they have a lot of people building on waterways. They've not been able to deal with it. What has stopped them from dealing with it? What has stopped them from pulling down those houses? There's supposed to be at least some form of regulation on how people put up buildings close to waterways. But they're there.
There is regulation, isn't there?
There is regulation, but then the people have flaunted it. Yeah. And Ghana Water is looking at them. They go and break a few houses and come back and sit down. Break the whole damn houses. That's what you're supposed to do. Because if we want to deal with Galamsey, which is so broad and we are having a difficult, this is easy. The houses are there. They're not supposed to be there. Why are they there? Break them down. I don't understand. Ghana Water is wanting the easy way out. That is running to government for us to pay. For something, for something you are supposed to do. Go out there.
Their issue with the turbidity of the water is with Galamsey.
Well,
that's their issue, that the cost of treating the water now has doubled.
And the inflow of water also has lessened from other sources because of the buildings that are coming up around. Even natural water, rainwater cannot be collected. It's also one of the sources that they get water. So the whole thing is, right now, we all know that Galamsey is creating problems. In fact, as I sit here, I'm so worried about mining now. You know, anything to do, although it's a good thing to have gold, I don't know how other countries have done it and we have not been able to. You understand? Probably I've not been following what's happening in South Africa, elsewhere, because I find Galamsey to be so distressing, and I don't know how people would still know that this thing is harmful and still go ahead and do it because of them, the few that are getting it. And then also I blame government for not naming and shaming. Who are those behind the importation of these machines? Who are those who are bringing them in there to work? Let's get them. I know that the national security has named. Let's name them and shame them. Let's name them and shame them. It is not fair that the rest of us should be suffering for some people to make money. It's not right.
That's our time. That's our time this morning. Thank you so much, Rodney Moro Ayana, public interest advocate. Shamima Muslim is the deputy presidential spokesperson, and we're joined on the phone lines by two of our docs, Dr. Samuel Ifrie and Dr. Peter Tekwe, an economist. Now, we have a packed show for you, we promise. We have sports coming up next, and then that exclusive interview with the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts on the state of the sector now and how it can be better. Stay tuned. You're watching TV3NewDay. All right, before we go, if you're looking for a university that will prepare your child for the future, then Academic City University is the place to go, is the best choice for you. At Academic City University, we don't just teach, we nurture creators, innovators, and leaders who shape tomorrow's world. We offer undergraduate programs in engineering, computer sciences, business, and communication arts, and our BSc in artificial intelligence and robotics engineering is the first and only one of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa, with world-class facilities, industry experienced faculty. Our students don't just learn the latest technology, they create it. And if you're a working professional or a young graduate, we've got you covered as well. We've got an MSc program in cybersecurity and data science analytics, as well as other professional certificate programs. At Academic City University, our programs are practical, they are relevant, and they're future-focused. So give us a call today. Call us on 026-269-3870 or visit act.ag.gh for more information. Admission is now open at Academic City. Make your mark. We'll be right back.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.